Hello, friends. This is Jayson from the Authentic and Agentic podcast with our hands-on AI demo. And so my goal today is to demystify some of this stuff. It feels like a lot of times when I talk to folks, they say, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to do. And so I'm going to walk you through this whole process from soup to nuts on coming up with an idea, implementing the idea, and falling down along the way. So you're going to watch me clunk through this. This isn't going to be a perfectly engineered, man, I clicked every button correctly and it was ready to go from the outset. This is going to be down and dirty, me sitting in a computer trying to solve a problem. So what I want to do today is show you a product called Zapier. Some of you probably know that, but Zapier is a automation tool that hooks and connects different APIs and different applications together. It may sound intimidating if you're not technical, but they have a new Agentic mode, which pulls the technical out and makes it a lot easier to implement. And so here's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I just went to ChatGPT and I literally just said to ChatGPT, I'm looking to build something in Zapier. Here's an idea. So we get a Google review from Moonshot Games. Okay, and I'm not even sure if this will work, so I just put it in there. I want you to take that review and put it into Slack so everyone in my company can see it and we can discuss it in a thread. When someone leaves a positive or a negative thing, I'd like for our team to be able to communicate about that so that we can respond accordingly. I also want it to automatically feed that review into a custom GPT that I've created with OpenAI with guardrails and instructions. So in essence, I've created or will create in this demo a set of guardrails and instructions that this review gets fed into, so it generates a response. Okay, I want to take that response to the Google review and I want to put that directly into that same Slack channel so people can see how my system suggests we respond. Now, Google intentionally doesn't allow you to automate a review back, and the goal here isn't to do that. I don't want to remove humans entirely from this. I want to inform humans in an automated way. And so we're not going to try to paste this directly into Google, right? We're not going to try to automate this directly into Google. We want some human oversight and some discussion, but I want some wordsmithing and some strategy layered into it. So it says, sure, mostly you can do this. We may run into an issue. We'll find out shortly. But in essence, Zapier cannot natively post a reply back to Google. That's great. We don't need it to do that. But it can draft, reason, and approve ready replies perfectly inside of Slack, which is what we're going to try to do. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to go to Zapier, Business Profile, New Review. This is kind of like the steps and steps and steps. Let me show you what I am going to do with this. So we're going to go to Zapier and we're going to log in. I have an account already, so you will need an account, and I do have a premium account. I don't know really what the final price points are on this, but I can tell you if you do any automation at all, it's worth it. There are other tools like this, make.com, n8n.com, and I've showed you in the past, ChatGPT has their own that they're working on called Agent Builder. But in essence, I'm going to take this whole thing that I already typed up and I'm going to put this into Zapier. I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. And this is the agentic mode of Zapier. Before, you would have had to go kind of manually find each of these tools and features. This is what happens now. So similar to a lot of other AI vibe coding software products, it's going to analyze my inputs and it's going to tell me what it can and can't do. So good news, you can trigger on Google reviews. Okay. Custom GPT challenge. Action connects to this, but your custom GPT isn't directly accessible. You can use the chat GPT in Zapier and include your GPT's instructions as part of the prompt. Okay, so I can't use a custom GPT yet because of Zapier's limitations, but I can add some of my instructions and guardrails as the prompt. So I just tell it ahead of time, like, this is the types of things you need to know. So it's going to map out triggering, posting, slacking, yada, yada, yada. Okay, one quick question. Does Google Business Profile allow you to reply to reviews directly from Zapier? I want to copy, paste, because I want human intervention and oversight. Okay, so I'm answering the question for it. This is like talking to a software developer. So for Zapier, for tools like Replit or Cursor or some of these other tools that exist in the vibe coding space, it's like having an actual agent, an actual software developer sitting next to you. So now it says, okay, great, this is good. All right, I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to start to build this whole thing. So the way Zapier works is it has a trigger, and then it does actions and conditions. So it's going to layer in, if you've ever done any software development, the if-then statements. If this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do this. It's building that whole kind of visual workflow right now based on the inputs that I gave it. So instead of me having to know how to code all this up and connect all these dots, it's going to come to me and say, hey, I need you to connect your business profile. So I'm going to log in here. I have to log into my business profile account. Okay. Yes, that's okay. Continue. And it's going to come in here and say, great, now you've connected. So it's going to, you have 2 Moonshot. Let me configure the trigger to the main Moonshot Games location. Okay, great. Now let me test the trigger to make sure it's working. Perfect, it's working. I'm going to move my video maybe up here so you can see all the parts and pieces. Okay, excellent. Now let me authenticate your Slack and your ChatGPT accounts. So in essence, it knows from the prompts I gave it all the parts and pieces I need to do. I'm going to sign into ChatGPT using my ChatGPT account. So it tells me I need to create an API key for this. I'm going to go log in. I tend to use Google as my login tool. Okay, I'm in here. I'm going to create a new key, and this is going to be called Google Review Zap. Create it. I'm going to copy my key, come back here, and paste it in, and continue. So now it's testing that. Okay, let me configure. Yep. So it's configuring the first Slack message to post their review. Right. Send channel message in Slack. Well, let's test it. See what it does. I don't know that I have connected Slack yet, so we'll find out what's going on here. Just a second. Generate a response. I'll craft and include your custom first. I need to know what specific guardrails. Okay, so let's go back to this. Let's go to my GPTs. I created a Google review bot a long time ago. Let me go in here and edit this. And these would be the guardrails that I've used in the past. So let's solve for this. Okay, so you are the voice of Mental Games, family-friendly game store with the motto, all characters welcome. You respond with warmth, humility, and professionalism. Warm, conversational, family, sympathetic but not sycophantic. Customers are usually right with staff to deserve protection, never defensive, always professional, no emojis or dashes. Use natural punctuation. Use we for the team or store and I when taking personal responsibility. Match the length of the reply to the length of the review. Short review, short reply. Detailed review, detailed reply. Okay. 5-star reviews. Thank them by name as possible. 4 to 3. 1 and 2. Let's kill all this stuff. I was doing some interesting things with some other brands. Keep it tasteful and align the Moonshots community vibe. Never sarcastic, never at the customer's expense. Let's kill all this. Okay, so some guardrails. Always be authentic and human, never corporate, never over-apologize or grovel, never promise specific compensation. If the review attacks staff unfairly, remain calm, defend values, always end up open door. Okay. I don't know if it'll take this much or not, but that's what we're going to send it. So it's going to configure the ChatGPT step to do this. It's going to use 4.0 mini, which is just a fast response piece. Test it. This is just testing the interaction. I don't think it's actually going to do anything. But it's generating a response. Now let me configure the thread reply. So, man, it's just wild to see that this tool is doing all this code, pushing all these buttons, doing all this connective components, and in theory, will resolve this. So it says it's ready. Google review triggers a new review. Post review to Slack general. Okay, so I don't want it to go to general. I want it to go to a different channel. I probably don't have a great channel, so let's do that. Let's open up our Slack account. Let's go home. Let's go to channels. Let's create a channel. Let's call it Google Review Noblesville. I have 2 stores, so we'll do 2 different ones. Okay, public, anyone can join it. Great. I'll go ahead and add my wife to it so she can see it. Everyone else can follow along if they choose to. Okay. So now we have a new channel called Google Reviews Noblesville. So let's go back to this and let's see if we can Google, try reloading. Google Reviews Noblesville. Perfect. All right. Send us a bot name. It doesn't matter. Zapier's fine, I think, right? It doesn't matter what it's called. I don't need to change that. We can have some fun with it later. Images. So there's all sorts of really cool extra things we can layer in here. Let's come back to this. This needs to be in the same one. All right, so now let's turn it on and reviews will start to flow through instantly. So let's go here. It looks like it probably posted one. Yep, see, it posted one in general. So I'm going to have to come back to this. But new Google review from Moonshot Games, Robert Schultz, 5 out of 5, a premier Indiana game store, right? And then it comes in here and says draft response. And then it didn't actually put anything in the draft response. So there is a bug. We're going to have to solve for that. So the way you do that, which is wild, is I'm going to come in here and say, okay, I looked at the draft response that was generated, and there is no actual response. So it did post to my Slack channel correctly. It did pull in the details from the Google review and post those. And then it got to the point of responding to the Slack message in the thread, which was great, but it didn't actually include anything in the text. It basically just says draft response review before posting with nothing else in it. So we need to make sure that whatever the ChatGPT prompt is returning is getting passed to that Slack response. So I just used a tool there called Whisper, which is how I do a lot of my work because I talk a lot faster than I type. And I'm just going to paste that in and we'll see what happens. So a lot of times this will say, oh man, dang, sorry I missed it. I see the issue isn't making it to the Slack message. Okay, please test that because we need it to get there. If it can't get there, we have a different problem. So it's running the test again to see why. Okay, so that's working. Now let me get the field structure set up correctly because it's not passing the field like it's supposed to. So the outputs aren't showing. Let me get the full output. Let me search specifically for how to do this. I see the issue now. It's using an older send prompt action, which returns data differently. Let me look for the actual output, right? So this is, again, just like a software developer going in there and trying to figure out what broke in the code. It's analyzing the code. It's analyzing the responses. It's sending stuff back and forth. Let's test this and see if it works. Change the field reference from that to that. It's now properly flowing. All right, let's see if it did actually work. Google reviews, draft response. So this came in here with nothing attached to it again. So I don't know that it did or didn't. Let's see if we can just run the whole thing from soup to nuts. Let's do a test run from the beginning. I'm going to move this. We're going to hit test run. Select the row to test. Review A. Okay, so here we go. This is a one that came in, an actual one. Let's run a test on this one. So it's going to grab that one. It's going to pull that one in. It sent the message here, sent a prompt to ChatGPT, and sent the message to Slack. Okay, so now let's go look at what actually happened. So Tyler H. gave us 2 out of 5 stars. For a long time, I've been fairly positive. After a recent experience, my message was read without a response. So that's lovely. Okay, so we're going to reply here and still not seeing anything. So what I do in these moments is I will actually copy and paste this into this window. So we'll go back to the Copilot feature. Let's exit this. Let's get out of this. Let's get back to Copilot. Okay. Still not seeing a proper response. Here's what I see. Plus. Oh, it doesn't have the ability to do this. That's a bummer. Sorry for the misleading there. We can just copy paste. And it can parse that. Still empty. The field reference isn't pulling the actual response. Let me dig into what's actually going on. So this is one of the struggles broadly with vibe coding, is it's similar to the original days of hallucination when you're just talking to a chatbot. It's very confident. It's like, man, I fixed it. I solved the problem. It's good, right? And then you find out, whoops, no, it isn't. And so sometimes it just bang against it, break it, fix it. In tools like Replit, I use the copy-paste feature that I showed you, where I actually take a screenshot of the error or issue and paste it in, and then it diagnoses that way. Let's see what's going on. It's still showing the old send prompt action. The replacement doesn't work. Let me remove the step in a new step instead. So it's trying something different, which is, again, like a software developer would do in this moment. Test it again. It may tell us again, it worked great, and it doesn't actually work great. A big part of this is just testing it to see if it does what we need it to do. So this is good. In its own testing, it says it's still not seeing it. Field discovery is showing previous step outputs, not this step's actual outputs. Let me try a direct approach. I'll update the Slack message thread to use response field, which is standard. Why wouldn't you have done that to begin with? Zapier. Perfect. It's now fixed. Using your moonshot persona, AI response posts in the thread. Give it a try. Let's see if it does anything. I don't think it's going to do anything, but we will see. I think it's hallucinating its goal. Let's pick this one. This is one of the best shops, 5 stars. Test run on this guy. Says it ran, says it ran, says it ran. One of the best stars, and same response. So you're not getting anything from ChatGPT there, Zapier. Exit the run view, exit this view, go back to Copilot. Still not pulling anything from ChatGPT. What else can we test here to ensure it's getting a response? All right, so now we're just going to retest that step to see what the output fields are. I wonder if it's generating like a unique output field every time that's not translating. Sometimes in these situations you have to create a translation layer, which takes something from here, translates it, and then sends it to here. The field discovery is still only showing the previous slack, not the ChatGPT steps on outputs. That means either isn't producing output or the field names are structured differently. So we're just going to the legacy version. So in essence, it's saying, hey, this is not working. It's still giving me the old outputs for whatever reason. Let's switch to a different version of the product, a legacy version, which is probably an outdated modal option. But we'll see if this works. It adds a little checkpoint so you can revert back to that if you didn't like whatever happened. We're going to test this. Now we're going to get the output fields from this. Maybe this will work. Still showing. Tool limitation. Let me try a direct approach using the standard legacy output field, which is typically called response text. So let's test that. I still don't think this is working, but we will see. So what I'll do here first is, are you seeing an actual response from ChatGPT? Warning, this step maps fields. This means that it might not actually be the correct field. Well, that feels problematic there, cowboy. I'm seeing a little star here, which tells me it's probably not accurate. Okay, so now we're back to an analyze text version. Seem to be outputting data. This is deeper integration issue. So it looks like we may have some broader issue. To build the response template with your rules, you'll write decision logic manually, but it works reliably. Try connecting to AI by Zapier, which is its native AI integration. Which would you prefer? I'd recommend option B because it will still use AI. Let's try option B. But please make sure to use the persona and guardrails I previously supplied. So in essence, it's going to use its own AI tool instead of going out to OpenAI. Normally, those tools are baked into some other model, so OpenAI or Claude or something else. But it's having an integration issue with the API. So Zapier, Replit, others have their own quote-unquote AI layer that just makes it easier to respond and work with. So instead of sending it out, it's using AI by Zapier. Now, this is something that charges you So anytime you hit an API externally, there's going to be minimal transactional costs associated with it. And so no doubt this is going to use some credits or some cost structure accordingly. But it remembered my persona in theory. We'll see if it actually worked or not. But I told it to use my persona and go from there. Test the API, analyze and return. Excellent. Output fields. Add the zap. Do the thing, push the button, change the thing. Let me get the fields for the Slack thread. Let's test it. I'm still seeing a little yellow icon here, which is not ideal. Post it in this channel, does this, does all these things, shouldn't properly output the response text. I am not 100% sure. Oh, look at that. It did. Thank you for the kind words, Robert. We are thrilled to hear that you consider Moonshot a premier gaming store in Indiana. We strive to create a welcoming environment for everyone in our community. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Great. So let's go run a full batch here. Let's test run this. Let's pick our 2-star guy. Let's test our 2-star guy and see what happens. So we're going to run it through as if this 2-star review just came in. It's going to go through the process. 2-star review comes in, sends it to Slack, analyzes it, and then spits back. So if we go to our Slack channel, we get this new 2-star review. Here's the comment the guy gave us, and here is the suggested response. Thank you for taking the time to share your experience. I'm truly sorry to hear that your recent interaction didn't meet your expectations and for any frustration that may have caused. We strive for open communication. I apologize if your message is overlooked. I appreciate your loyalty over the years and would love to know more about what happened. Please feel free to share more details here or reach out to me directly. We hope to have the opportunity to make it right and welcome you back soon. Not bad. Not bad at all. So what I would do here is turn this on, start feeding these reviews into my Google Reviews channel. Probably just do it in Noblesville, test it there. You know, and I can duplicate the Zap and put one in our second store in Plainfield also. And then we will use this to make recommendations to us. So I'll invite a couple of customer service folks into this channel from Moonshot, and we can have conversations right here threaded in the channel. And then when we're ready and when we're happy, we just grab the part that we're good with and send it out the door. And so again, this is not intended to replace a human. This is intended to help us be more responsive. When I go log into my Google reviews, I'm behind on following up. And so part of the reason is just organizing the chaos, and it's a lot easier to start from this than it is to start from a blank white piece of paper. And so this is a pretty cool automation. Zapier has a zillion features. I mean, you can get it to do almost anything. You saw me go from, dear ChatGPT, give me an idea, to copying and pasting that into this, to watching it build it, to watching us run into all sorts of issues where OpenAI couldn't even respond with anything. But it just kind of keeps figuring out how to solve it. And a lot of it is just beat your head against a wall. But now at the end of this, I mean, I quite literally have a functioning version of this application, right? It is ready to go. So I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to make a second one, and we're going to go from there. That is how to build with Zapier. Appreciate y'all.